So this is security thing happening in Nigeria in a few states, the whole of Nigeria, a few states in Nigeria. Many people are not going to say one or two states in Nigeria. The international community sees it as Nigeria as its entirety. But Nigerians know that it's probably one or two states. One or two states is too much. One or two states is too much. The primary role of governance and government in a country is to protect lives and property. And when you're not able to protect lives, you are not going to be able to protect property as well. And you see, what's happening in Nigeria today is decade long, getting to almost 2 decades. If you look at what happened with Boko Haram in 2014, even before that, we saw the signs in Borno, we saw the signs in other northeastern states. And now we got the first occurrence in Kwara State. Of course, Kebbi, you're having the middle belt states, the middle states within North Central also have their own dealings with these terrorists. I know the government is saying banditry, but buying people unwantedly based on a cause does not sound like banditry to me. So I think the government needs to call it what it is and label some of these groups for what they are and put the full weight of the law. I read somewhere that the president has called a full state of emergency, just declared a state of emergency. I think this is the step in the right direction. And all hands on deck, 20,000 soldiers or 20,000 police have deployed to help tackle this problem. I think whatever they need, the resources that they need, the money that they need, the weapons that they need, the intelligence that they need, whatever they need to provide at this time has to be the priority. That there are other things in the country, cost of living crisis, etc. But if you have an insecurity problem that is in the north, it can easily come to the south. And I mentioned Kwara as an example. And we're looking at the northeast to north central. When you're going from net central, you're getting dangerously to south, west, and southeast in Nigeria map. And that's pretty much the whole country. It continues to spread if you don't do anything about it. Of course, Nigeria is not the first country that's had terrorism issues. We had the famous 9/11 issue, and we saw what America did to ensure that that kind of scale does not happen anymore. They put their mouth where their money was. You saw what happened with the security at airports. The laptops that were checked, you have to remove your shoes. You had those digital scanning machines where you have to open your hands and your body checked. They used to do body check, but now more body checks. And now with automatic machines, you have to take your laptop out. Sometimes you have to take your shoes out, like I said, and other sophisticated things that even on planes, that even if that person was to go through, there will be a dictator to catch that person, to reduce it. And after 9/11, yeah, things still happen after that. And that's when they now had the airport security enhanced. And of course, we had the liquids as well and some other things I will not go into in this video. But they did something about it. Nigeria has to do something about ours. UK had their own as well, 7/7. God rest all the souls of the people that had perished in those terrorist attacks. Germany has had theirs, France has had theirs, Japan has had theirs. So this is not just an isolated incident of just Nigeria. Other countries have had issues like this. We are not the first, but we must do what other countries have done in our own way to make sure that this thing goes away. We cannot have a terrorism industry. We cannot have investors coming in en masse and saying they want to invest in a country where it is not secure. Again, I'm not saying it's not the whole, it's the whole country, but it starts with one and two, and it quickly spreads. God forbid it will not spread to other states, but it has to be addressed in the states that it's happening in. There has to be a very clear and present declaration of intent to prosecute anybody that is involved in these nefarious activities. The full weight of the law has to be meted against them. This has to stop. The country is bleeding. The country is bleeding. I commend the presidency or the president for doing this, declaring the state of emergency, but what comes next is the question. How is that state of emergency going to address the situation? I pray that the 20,000 policemen and other security forces that have been deployed to tackle this menace will be given the right resources and they will address this issue. And the right people are accosted, arrested, and the full weight of the law is applied to them. And we are seeing the action right in front of our eyes. And hopefully within a few weeks to months, we see progress. And for those who have died, for those who are kidnapped and still have not been found, my prayer goes out to them as well. Those people need to do what they can to find the people and rescue these people, especially the children that have been taken from their schools, where they're supposed to go and get an education. They're taken from schools in broad daylight at night. No information leading to their arrest. We're hearing about negotiations with terrorists. Some are saying that no, there's no negotiation. Some they're saying that I don't even know what to believe. But I just want this thing to stop. Nigeria is the only country we have. Irrespective of where you are in the world, Nigeria is the only country we have that is truly ours. And I know there's a lot out there with people having different ideas about where the country should go. But irrespective of what idea you have, whatever that idea is, you want to be peaceful in it, right? So we must be charting the course of peace. So I just thought I'd just drop this out here. If you're listening to me for the first time, please subscribe or follow me depending on where you're watching this from. I'll probably say some things later in the middle of the week, as we're getting to the middle of the week, to the end of the week, as I know more about this insecurity issue. I have some thoughts about what's happening with the US. I have some thoughts about the Chinese involvement, the resources, but irrespective of what my thoughts are, the main thing is we must aim for peace. Peace. Peace